Hey, what's up, Exit the Matrix family? Bob here. Hey guys, sorry I haven't done a video for a few days. As some of you know that have been following me on my Facebook page, we had a kind of a traumatic weekend. My family and I, we were away this weekend with traveling soccer. And of course, my son plays, and I'm one of the coaches on the team. And we had a rough thing happen during a game. My son's one of the better players on the team, and we were hurting real bad. So we moved him back from defense. Our defense is just like a wall, solid. The kids are just amazing. The defense carries the team. And my son is one of the defensive players, but we moved him up to forward to try to get some scoring going and stuff and lighten the pressure on our defense. And we were starting to make pretty good headway against the other team. And one of the other players didn't like it that my son was doing well up there. So he took out a dirty shot on him, a high kick, an illegal play, an illegal a penalty. And kicked my son full force in his forearm, and it fractured. He got 3 fractures, 2 on the bottom bone and 1 on the top bone. And it was very traumatic. I was watching it from the sidelines when it happened. His, let's just say it was very garish looking, if you could imagine what that would look like with the bone hanging down and everything. And so I had to run across the field and help my son pick him up and get him to the sideline where we waited for the on-the-site trainers to come take a look at him. And so sorry, folks, this is kind of hard to relate. However, there's a rainbow at the end of this story here. So hope you hang through. Well, it was kind of just by luck, I think. When it happened, my son, was in shock and adrenaline rushing, and he kind of like waved his, arm a little bit up and down because he didn't know what was wrong with it until he looked at it. And by him doing that, he actually reset the bones. It went from them being, disconnected, separated, to reconnecting them. At least the bottom bones lined up nice and straight. And there was actually 2 fractures on the bottom, and they were pretty jagged, but that allowed the bones to kind of reline up. Now the top one, it was more of an even break, so those ones were offset a little bit. But right when my son when I carried him off the field, I told my wife, she was sitting there, we put him in our chair, the chair that she was using to watch the game, and I told her right away, I said, start doing Reiki right now. Of course, she's going through the shock of what just happened, and she's trying to, figure this all out and absorb it all. And she luckily, at first she started to argue, and I said, just do Reiki now on him, start doing it. And so she started, and I went up there, and I've only got a level 1 Reiki certification. I'm not a Reiki practitioner by any means, but I understand the basics of energy healing. I study the phenomena, and I understand how it works with the quantum field. So I knew at that point, at least to alleviate some pain and to lessen some of the shock and stuff, that it would be beneficial to start doing Reiki. So my wife was doing Reiki on him while we were waiting for the trainers, and I was trying to channel as much energy from source through me to help my wife with the work she was doing. And eventually the trainers got there, and we walked him over to a bench where they could start working on putting a splint on him, a makeshift splint on spot on him. And from there, we rushed him to the hospital, to the ER. Luckily, the field was like 2 minutes away from a hospital, so that was also pretty lucky for us. And amazingly, I think most of you know, when you deal with a hospital, even ER, you wait in line and wait, and it takes forever. We lucked out. Like, that day happened to be a light day for them. Like, they never have light days, but it was a light day, and they were able to get him in. I mean, I barely parked, and I stayed out in the car with our dog for a minute while my wife took him in, because the dog was kind of freaking and stuff, and there was a big rainstorm going on at the moment too, and it was all kind of chaotic, and she called me in to, bring in some of his stuff. Well, by the time I got in there, they were already getting ready to take him in, so we went back there with the x-ray and with the doctors. The whole process took like 30 minutes, which is amazing at an ER. I mean, seeing the nurse, getting him in to get the x-rays, and then the main doctor already looking at him and looking at the x-rays with us. And so anyways, the doctor had looked at the x-rays, and he said that the bottom bones were lined up and that the top one was just offset a little bit. But he felt that all in all, for how major the injury was, that things were going great, and that he thought, he told us we needed to wait a couple days to let the swelling go down before he could get a cast. But when we got back home, he said, we needed to get him into a orthopedic surgeon. And we were 3.5 hours away from home, where these games were when all this happened, because we live in the mountains. So we were down in a large city when this happened, out on the flatlands. So that's kind of where we were at that point. They had his arm in a splint and everything. The doctor put a new splint on him, and he had a sling, and of course, pain meds he was given. But I do want to give one thing to my son. My son did not take the oxys that they prescribed him. He only took the ibuprofen and the over-the-counter aspirin, and that's all he's been using since. He did not want to take the oxys. He wanted to tough out the pain, and he knows that the detrimental side effects of those. We have a family member that was addicted to those, that it destroyed his life, and my son knows all that. So folks, while all this is going on, when I'm in the car before I go into the ER to meet my wife and son, I send out a post about what's going on. And I ask everybody on Exit the Matrix to please send prayers, to send Reiki, long distance healing, to do whatever they could to help my son heal, to help this situation, this traumatic situation we found ourselves in. And I wanted to thank all of you that lent your support from that post. I want to thank all of you that reacted to that call to action. I want to thank all of you that sent prayers, positive thoughts, and energy healing, because it helped, folks. It was miraculous, and I knew it would be. And so we got him his cast on. It was kind of interesting because we had a bunch of our local orthopedic surgeons in our little small town, in the small town near us, that were booked up for weeks, that couldn't get him in. And then luckily in the larger city in the mountains, that's about an hour and a half away from us, we had a doctor that was able to take him in right away. And so we took him down yesterday. And this was a young doctor, and he was fantastic. He looked at the x-rays, and he was amazed that the bones had not moved even a millimeter from where they were from the x-ray that was taken on Saturday. On Saturday. This happened on a Saturday. And, of course, today's Wednesday, so this was yesterday, Tuesday, that we got him his cast on. And in that time period, the bones had not moved at all. And in fact, the two fractures on the bottom forearm bone had already started filling in and fusing together. Whereas you couldn't even hardly see the fractures in them anymore. Now you guys got to understand, these bones were completely separated. His arm was hanging at an angle when this happened. If you can imagine how garish that was. And I hate to go into details, folks, but the reason I'm doing that is because you got to understand how miraculous your help was and your prayers and your energy that you sent. So the doctor looked at him. He was amazed at the fact that these bones hadn't moved at all, and that they were already healing. The bottom bones, at least, were already clearly showing fusion. Now the top one, it was still offset. However, the doctor said because of how quickly he was already healing and because of the fact that it hadn't moved, that he said he could do surgery and perfectly line those bones up, but he'd have to put in rods and, pins and everything. And he said it was our choice, but he said that he recommended that just to let it be, that we put a cast on it. And he said eventually that those bones would fuse together, regardless if they were offset a little bit. He said something interesting, too. He said that, people don't realize that the body has its own blueprint for how the bone structure of your individual body, of your individual design of your body, that the brain has a blueprint of that, and that the body knows when those bones aren't lined up just right, and it knows that that's not right. And so right away, the brain will start working to straighten that, to fix that. Now, it's not going to move the bones, but what it'll do is it will heal the bones in a way that it'll fuse those two jagged ends that are offset, and it'll fill in that and eventually even smooth it out, so that you'll have a little bit of a bump there, but eventually it'll be one solid bone. And if anything, it'll be stronger than it was before. So I thought that was amazing, like hearing a doctor talk about that. A lot of times, I think we forget that some of these younger doctors, they're growing up in a different generation, and they have different viewpoints on how the body works and everything. They're not stuck in old modalities. Some doctors that are fantastic, that are still doing it in their 70s and stuff, but they're stuck to old ways and how they, old medicine and old techniques and understandings of the body. And I just found that to be pretty amazing. I think what happened was the universe lined us up with the perfect doctor that we needed to see. He didn't push surgery on us. He wanted to go the natural route and just help the healing continue. And this was also amazing, folks. I told him about the prayers and the Reiki and energy healing, and that my wife had been doing Reiki on him to help it. And he said, it was amazing, because I was kind of hesitant to ask him about that, what he thought about that. And he was like, absolutely. He said, our society, our doctors, a lot of doctors from the old ways, they don't understand that energy healing helps these processes. He said, I'm all for that. If you guys believe in that and you believe it helps, and from what I'm looking at, it looks like it certainly is helping a lot. He said, continue to do that. He said, medicine needs to catch up to the times. And I just found that so amazing, because I've been saying for a long time the day that Western medicine and Eastern medicine combine will be the day that we'll have the most amazing healing of humanity ever. Putting those energy healing techniques and those nature healing techniques and merging that with Western medicine, which is amazing as far as how we can put body parts back together and in all these different ways. And that combining those techniques will maximize the healing and the process and speed it up. I just found that amazing that we actually ended up with a doctor that understood this and valued it. So yeah, I wanted this is really a thank you video, folks, to all of you. And I wanted a little bit of teaching here too, and I hope you can get some good things out of this. And maybe some of you that are new to this, these ideas and concepts, I hope that you maybe have a little more of an open mind coming out of this. But a lot of this was thank you to you folks, to the ETM family for, answering my call to action and helping us out in our time of need. And things are looking good. He's healing quickly. He's got soccer tryouts for high school and starting in the summer here. And he should be ready to go by then, even if he has like a small forearm cast on, or, maybe just, some kind of final treatment on his arm at that point, maybe just for protection. But he'll be good to go. And my son's very strong-minded and strong-willed, and he's an amazing athlete. And he's already like trying to consume a lot of calcium and doubling up his protein intake and all these things to help that healing process along. And my wife's been doing Reiki on him each night after he gets out of the bathtub and ready for bed. So now I did want to put in here, because as you know, not everybody is helpful and nice and thoughtful. There were a couple people, and I don't want this to taint this, I'm using this as a teaching moment here. There were a couple people on my Facebook page that put comments under there that one guy, I just ended up banning him, and he's followed my page for 2 years, but I can't have this kind of negativity. But he said, you know what? You and your family deserve it, because you blasphemed the name of Yahweh. And because you did that, this is retribution and punishment, and you deserve what you get. And I banned him. I'm not even going to talk or deal with the person that evil. I mean, he's so blinded by religion that he's evil. At least in that moment, he was evil. And he was negative. In a moment, I was asking for positivity. And then there was one other person that I let her be, because she's followed my page for a while. However, she tried to bring up the same comment. She said, well, I'll pray for your son. However, I don't know what good it'll do for you and your family, because you don't believe in my God. You don't believe in the true God. You blaspheme the name of Yahweh. And what are my prayers? You don't believe in my God, so what are the prayers going to do? Now, I let her be, and she said I'm an atheist, which I don't understand why people keep... Folks, because I don't believe in your concept of God does not make me an atheist, okay? I've stated over and over and over again that I'm not an atheist, that I believe in the source of all creation. And that is what God is to me. God is the all. We're all fractals of that God. We're all co-creators with that God. Now, is my God a deity from a religious book? No, it's not. But that doesn't make me an atheist. Because I don't believe in your God doesn't make me an atheist. Because I don't believe in Allah doesn't make me an atheist. Because I don't believe in Yahweh doesn't make me an atheist. So just understand that, folks, where I'm coming from there. However, this is the teaching that I want to give you, folks. Now, some of you might be thinking what I just talked about, or what those people told me. You might actually be agreeing with some of that, because you're probably Christian, and that's fine. I'm glad you have your viewpoints, and I would never try to get you not to have those beliefs if that's what you truly want to follow. I've always been about discovery and teaching. So if something if I talk about resonates, then fine. If not, then that's fine. Stick with what you resonate with. Now, the reason I did not have problem with asking for prayers, regardless of what entity or God that you follow, that you would pray to send these prayers to my son, I don't have a problem with that. And here's why, folks. Because I understand how the quantum field works. I understand how our conscious energy interfaces with the quantum field. I understand that Reiki and Qigong and other healing techniques, energy techniques, are all just interfacing with the quantum field. I understand that prayers are real and prayers work. Now, maybe not in the way you think they do. Because I understand that it's all about the intentions of the co-creator. The powers that we are born with, that are natural to us because of us being fractals of God, of Source. I understand that when we pray, regardless of whatever God it is, and especially when it's in a positive sense for healing and such, I understand that it's the intentions and the emotions and the thought forms, the positive energy that go into those prayers, into that energy healing. And when those are directed towards my son, I understood that that was going to interface with the quantum field, which was going to make the quantum field obey those commands, those prayers, obey that energy direction. Because, folks, we have command over the quantum field. I know this sounds woo-woo to some of you that don't understand this. This is the merging of spirituality and science. And we're coming to a time, folks, in humanity's epoch where we are going to learn this to be the truth. And our scientists are getting there quickly. And our scientists that delve into this stuff are quickly understanding that the ancient teachings of religions and spirituality has had this right for thousands and thousands of years. Science is just catching up to this now. So, folks, those of you that think that your prayers to your God that maybe I don't follow would not help are wrong. Because your positive energy and your prayers to regard whatever God that you believe in was still interfacing with the quantum field, and it was still sending healing and direction to the quantum field to heal my son. And I thank you for that, and I love you for that, and I appreciate you for that. So I hope some of you have followed this video to the end. I know a lot of people that watch my videos don't give it the full time. Folks, I'm going to be doing a lot higher quality videos here soon. I have an amazing person. Somebody that's a part of the ETM family. Her and her husband have been amazing. They have decided to bless ETM with a new studio setup, computers, or a computer and mic and camera setup that is far above what I've been using to do my videos. And I'm working on I have a loft in my house that I'm going to be turning into a studio setup. And thanks to them, I will have the equipment I need now. It's an amazing blessing. And I don't want to say their names because I don't know if they would want that. But I am so taken back by their generosity and their support of me and my work, and because they're also trying to bless all of you folks, because they want you to continue to learn. They see something in my teachings and they want people to learn from these teachings, and I'm very thankful for that. So I've been getting a lot of blessings here lately, folks. The universe is opening up doors. What some of you may have seen this as being a catastrophic weekend, I see it as being a positive, because it forced my wife to get back deep into Reiki. It forced me to now I'm going to have to work harder than ever and build harder than ever, because there's going to be financial issues with all of this, and I've got to meet that challenge. And my son is going to come out of this learning adversity and how to overcome challenges and how to continue with his dreams regardless of setbacks. So we are all going to learn from this moment and this event that happened, and he's going to heal quickly, and I think things are looking good, and I'm being positive about this, and a lot of that positivity comes from the fact, folks, that you helped my son already get on a quick path to recovery and healing. So and I hope you understand what I was teaching about the quantum field and how prayers and energy healing interfaces with the quantum field, and how that works to help us out, and how we can help other people out with that. And like I said, I wanted to do a shout out to that family that is blessing ETM with the equipment we need to upgrade. And also, guys, stay tuned. I just did an interview on Monday after all this happened. I did not want to pass up the opportunity for this interview. I did an interview with Truth Theory, with Mike with Truth Theory. He's on Facebook, he's on YouTube, he's got some multiple platforms. He's got almost 2 million followers on Facebook. And a lot of his stuff is along the same lines of what I teach. And he has some amazing videos he does and teachings. And it's well worth your time to go check him out at Truth Theory on Facebook and on YouTube. And you guys are going to love the video we did. We went deep on many subjects. We ended up doing over a 2-hour video, folks. It was a marathon video. And that was just part one. We got more to come. A lot of stuff we went over: ancient origins, spirituality, energy healing, all these amazing things. And the interview, some of you could say that I should have been just focusing on my son solely, but you guys got to understand I am, because this is what I got to continue to do. This is the path that the universe has set in front of me, and I got to continue going. And this will bring hopefully a lot of new subscribers and followers to ETM. And I ask you folks to help the page and the channel grow, and help me grow on some of the other platforms like X and stuff too. But this is where the universe has put me, and it's the path it's put me on, and I've got to continue trucking along, folks. And things are looking up. Was this really a rough weekend? Could I sit here and cry about it and be negative about it? Yes, I could, but I'm not going to do that, folks, because I already seen miracles happen. I've already seen, if you could have seen on the field that injury to how things look now with him with his cast on, it's like night and day, folks. I mean, just amazing. And like I said earlier, I love you all and I appreciate you all. I hope you can take some encouragement from this video. I hope you can, learn some things from this video, and maybe open your mind up a little bit about prayer, the powers of prayer and the powers of energy healing, and that we do have abilities, folks, and it's time to start healing ourselves and each other, folks. And check out that video when it comes out. I'm not sure exactly when he's going to have it ready. It was such a long video. He's got to do a lot of editing and stuff. Just polishing it up and all that. And as soon as I get that, I'll be posting it here on YouTube and linking it from the Facebook page. I don't think you can even upload videos that large on Facebook. So I don't know, maybe I can cut maybe do some shorts or cut some shorter videos off of that. But that's just part one. And get this, folks, he's got some amazing connections with some of my favorite people that I follow and listen to on YouTube and other platforms. And you're going to be seeing some amazing things with ETM. We're going to be interviewing possibly on some panels with some of my favorite people that are I wouldn't call them heroes because I don't believe in worshiping humans, but people that I highly respect and I follow their work, and it'll be absolutely amazing. I think some huge things are coming up, and I think you're going to see ETM just blow up, and it's going to be amazing, folks. And those of you that have been with me for a long time, it's well deserved, that we're going to get our chance to start shining here and have our, our understandings and our teachings and our, because folks, a lot of you send me your thoughts. A lot of you send me messages and links and information all the time. And a lot of you support me. And so you're part of this. This isn't just me. I'm the guy that never wanted to do something like this, that never wanted to talk in front of cameras, that was afraid of public speaking and such. But, the universe has a way of forcing you to do things that you were meant to do. And maybe it was in my soul contract. And now I'm finally lining up with that. And hopefully the universe's nudges will be a little softer than this weekend, because that was that was a little bit of a baseball bat to the side of the head, I gotta admit. However, coming out of that, I feel like things are just going to explode. So, anyways, positive things, folks, and just I'll let you go on that. And I wish you all the best, and I appreciate you all. I'll talk to you later.